Ellis looking deep down the left side. Mendeville into the end zone. Touchdown!
Down the sideline, still 40, 20 to the house.
And the players streaming from the sideline to celebrate with 17 seconds left.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of BVarsity Live. I'm Zach Ewing, the sports editor at the Bakersfield Californian, and your host for Thursday, January 21st. Again, without my cohort, Trevor Horn. Yes, everybody shed a tear. The chair is still empty. And he is still battling some back issues, and we hope to have him back next week. But that's what I said last week, and it didn't happen. That's what we say this week. We hope it happens. Keep him in your thoughts, and we will hope Trevor is back in his chair with his filthy cup of coffee next week. That thing is disgusting, by the way.
We can't wait for that.
Nick, I'm going to show it to you after. It's seriously a piece. I'm surprised nothing alive is growing.
It may be growing right as we speak. Right?
I think maybe it's just so many pots of hot coffee that it's killed anything living. But
Yeah.
Anyway, this is Nick Ellis. He's going to be sort of my co-host of sorts for the first half of the show today, and then later on, we're hoping to get the South High boys soccer team in here. We're also going to show you some of our all-area football videos that we did that can kind of recap the all-area team and tell you our players of the year in case you missed that over last weekend. Nick, a former referee, we've had him in the show quite a few times before, friend of the show. Sometimes you're in here and you're like pushed to the corner. You got to spread out a little bit here.
This is kind of nice.
Yeah.
I'm not used to, all this room.
Well, we like to give you solo attention, my friend.
You,
so that's
you saying that today because you didn't have anybody else to come on. So I know the reason. That's good.
No, it's okay. We just we knew that you'd come through in the clutch for us. So
Yes, I try.
Hey, I do want to ask you though, because you've shot a lot of stuff for us over, especially in the fall. You shot a lot of high school football. You shot a lot of Cody Kessler at USC.
Yeah.
You shot some Derek Carr with the Raiders, even at least once. What was that semester like for you, as far as just sort of being that close to the game in a different way than maybe you were used to?
It was absolutely amazing. I don't know that I'll ever have that opportunity like that again. This is what I've been telling a lot of people that ask me, "Oh, you're a big shot now," and I go, "Well, it's probably I'm a one-shot wonder because Cody, obviously is graduating. Maybe I'll get to go back and shoot Derek Carr again." The high school, of course, that's going to continue, but we had a lot of teams that played really well, so I got to travel. That one weekend that you guys sent me to Clovis, Liberty Clovis game, and I'm not a Clovis fan, so to see Liberty win was extremely exciting for me. Then the next day, the Pac-12 championships, and the day after that to go to Oakland against Kansas City was just a dream come true for me. It is absolutely crazy, and a lot of people ask me about it. Oh, that's so much fun. It's got to be great. You know this. It's work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was on the same weekend with you, and believe me, I looked forward to it. I look back on it fondly. It's a reason that I love my job.
Yeah.
When you get to do stuff like that. But it's also, you're traveling, you're staying in hotels, you're constantly on the move. You have deadlines to worry about. It is work. I mean, people sometimes forget that part, but there's always something to worry about.
The other thing for me, you got to remember that I'm not a 20-year, 10-year expert like you are, and of course it's a different field with photography than the reporting, but there's a lot of similarities, I think. But what you have is I've got photographers there, and the paper's used to running photos that are superior photos. I mean, you got USA Today, Sports Illustrated, AP, all these guys shooting photos right next to you, and so I felt a lot of pressure. Look, I got to really do well, and everybody's a rookie once,
right,
at least, and sometimes more than once. But
and I know I personally put a lot of pressure on you. I threaten bodily harm and stuff if you don't meet deadlines.
I don't remember that, but I know just because I've been told make the deadlines.
I'll just sick Trevor on you. That's
there you
all.
have it. That's even worse.
Yeah. Hey, the high school game. You're such a veteran of being close to the game and seeing it from the field level as a referee for 35 years, is it?
27.
I always forget the number. It seems like
I'm 35 years old. That's probably
okay.
Yeah.
That's just, I was thinking you were like 74, but
I'm closer to 74 than 35. That's for sure.
Hey, how much different is it shooting photos? How does your perspective change? I know when you're a referee, you're definitely looking for very specific things. and maybe when a photographer, it's more of I want to catch any action I can get. But how did it change your perspective personally?
Well, first of all, let me say that I think I've got a huge advantage over anybody doing photography that hasn't been a referee, because I've got all these years of knowing what to look for. So in any sport you do, basketball, of course, going right now, we had football. When a play is developing, I kind of know where to look. That's what referees do. The pressure of the game being on the sideline is completely different than the pressure of the game on the field. I find that the actual photography aspect is a lot more challenging now because I'm so new at it. It just takes a lot of focus. You've got to learn where to be. You've got to know what to look for. I have a lot of aha moments, like, well, I should have did that. A lot of mistakes. Obviously, after
Probably
so many
kind of
years,
like refereeing was at first.
exactly,
yeah.
but that's been so many years ago. I mean, when I think back to most of my referee career, I think back to the last, say, 5 or 10 years, and I'd pretty much learned how to do what I needed to do. To be very honest with you, and I've said this to people before, as a referee, we're kind of in charge of that field. We walk out there, and referees have to be in control. They have to at times take charge of the field and be in charge of the game. So, you go from a position of being in charge of the game to now you're a photographer, and that's like one step above the gardener. I mean,
you have to take orders from everybody.
You take an order from everybody, the coaches and the players and the media and everybody. Get out! You can't be here. Get over there. Why are you here? I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And
when you were a referee, did you ever kick a photographer out of a certain area? Was that ever an existential experience?
Cameramen. We've done that for cameramen, especially in playoffs when you get, around here we know Greg Kerr and all the different guys that have been around for years, and they come out to shoot the games. But when you get into playoffs, to say football, and you've got all these people there, and everybody's on the sidelines more than a normal game. Every coach for that team is going to be on the sideline. They've got JV players out there and all the administrators, and we have a job to do to referee. And then there'll be cameramen, and sometimes they're literally on the field or just standing on the goal line, and they can't be there.
Yeah.
And I've had situations where we had TV people from, say, Fresno or Visalia or somewhere, and we tell them to get back, and they won't listen, so we have to push them back, so to speak. We have, hey, you guys got to get back. We're not going to continue. That does happen.
Going the other way around, has a referee ever come up to you and given you the business about?
Yes.
So you've experienced both sides of that.
Yes, it's called karma. Yeah. It doesn't feel good when you don't know what you're doing. The funny thing, I'll never forget this. This is about 2 years ago. I was shooting a game for you guys up at BC. And, at the high school level, they're not too strict about being in the team box. But the rules are the referees are not allowed within the team box area from the 20s or 25s in. They're on the outside. And I happen to be standing inside the team box on a game. I forget what JC team it was. And the coach came up and just yelled at me and chased me out of there like I was a criminal. And I was embarrassed, and it's like, whoa. And I don't go there anymore.
Yeah, people don't understand there are certain situations, certain things you can do at the college and professional level that will get you not only in trouble, you can get kicked out, you can have your credential revoked. I mean,
right.
Usually they'll give you a couple of chances, but I mean, it's not exactly an easy thing to learn everything you're going to do. I was just told Trevor Horn is on the line. Trevor, first of all, I need to know how many narcotics you're on.
Enough to get me through the pain, Zach. That's what I'll leave it with.
Okay, so quite a few then, in other words.
Yeah, doctor prescribed.
We're hooking Nick up too here so that he can hear.
Hey, Trevor.
Yeah. Hi, Nikki.
How are you?
Been better.
Yeah, Trevor's been better. Trevor, you've been sitting in your bed and retweeting stuff. Basically, it's been your job duties the last week or so.
Yeah, I wish it was in my bed, man. The pain is so bad that I can't actually lie in a bed because of the movement. So I've been reserved to the recliner in front of the TV in the living room for the last, I think I'm on day number 10 now, guys.
Wow.
So it's a very unique situation. The pain is not as great as it once was, but you realize things like this will happen, and you just kind of have to bear with it until you actually get the procedure done, and I can come back and bother you with my dirty cup of coffee, as you would say.
Oh, I can't wait to see that cup.
I can smell that thing from here. By the way, there is hope because assistant sports editor Mike Griffith has had serious back issues too, and he literally just danced by the window outside the studio here with a huge grin on his face. So
Yeah.
I think there is hope for you because Mike Griffith is old and decrepit, as we know.
No. I'm okay. I have a procedure coming.
Did we lose Trevor? Oh, we lost him. John Farron hung up on Trevor. Good on you. Well, hey, we'll get Trevor back on the line, but Nick, one of the other roles you play, and something I was going to ask you about as well, is you're still involved with the U.S. Army Arena Bowl.
I am, yes.
Or All-Star Bowl, excuse me. It used to be
All-Star
called
Bowl.
the Arena Bowl. We can't call it that anymore because
Right.
of copyright issues. But this is the 15th now? 15th Arena Bowl? Or All-Star Bowl?
Oh, shoot. You had to ask.
14th, 15th is right in that range.
Yeah.
And it's such a cool event. People know it comes every April. It's an indoor high school football all-star game. And do you have the date for this year's game exactly?
You know what? I don't.
Okay.
I was waiting for that from Stephanie, and they never made it back in the office. I'll actually look on my phone at the break, and then maybe
Okay, we'll get that information for you. We're going to take a break here in a minute. We'll get it
Yeah.
when we come back. But Trevor's back, and Trevor may be back in time to cover that All-Star Bowl, though we may have to take him up the elevator in a stretcher to do it.
Oh, boy.
Or a track meet or something.
There's no mercy on this side, is there, Trevor?
Oh no, and there shouldn't be. This is, it's not like this is life-threatening. It just happens to be a really bad pinched nerve that,
Yeah.
keeps me basically recliner.
Yeah, and
laden. So
I'm not going to feel sorry for you for sitting in a recliner all day, man. I'm just not
No.
going to do it. So I'm just
you know
kidding.
how much NBA I've been watching over the last 10 days? It's incredible.
Well, what
Are
have
you
you what have
happy
you
about
learned?
The Kings are still a playoff team, which is good for me. Steph Curry and the Warriors are absolutely phenomenal. I think that the Cavs are going to be that team that's still going to win the East, and they don't have anything to worry about despite that ugly loss on Monday. They don't have anything to worry about until the middle of June when they see the Warriors and end up losing. I don't know. It's a very unique league. I'm glad I didn't watch that Pistons game last night. I watched Andre Drummond miss, 23 free throws last night.
Yeah, because the
I mean,
Rockets
it's
kept
just-
fouling him. Hey,
Yeah.
I have to ask you: are the Kings a playoff team because there are only 7 good teams in the Western Conference and somebody has to be number 8? Is that essentially
What do
what
you
we're?
mean 7? There's 6 good teams. You stop at the Mavericks, and then Portland stinks, Utah stinks, Sacramento stinks, Phoenix stinks. So
What
you
about?
got
Now wait a minute. Wait, I know this is a prep show, but I have to.
Clippers?
There's you got Golden State, you have the Clippers, you have Oklahoma City, you have San Antonio. That's 4. You have Memphis, Houston, and Dallas. Right? That's 7.
I don't think Houston's all that great. The problem with James Harden is that he gets lost sometimes. He's like Jimmy Butler.
All
He has
right,
these
all right.
Brilliant nights, and then he gets lost.
They,
They're not that great.
they only
Houston
reached
is
the
not
Western
that good of a
Conference
basketball
Finals last year, but I guess I'll give you that one.
Well, that's like Atlanta. Atlanta reached the Eastern Conference Finals last year, but they're not that great. The NBA in itself is like 5 or 6 fantastic teams, about 15 good teams, and then a bunch of garbage.
Yeah, well, there's definitely a tanking problem there. Hey, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna be back more. Nick Ellis, I want to learn more about the All-Star Bowl. He is going to check a little bit of information on that as far as the date for you guys and maybe some changes that could be expected in this year's game. We'll be right back after this on BVarsity Live.